All right, now this is a really good chapter. I was really excited to see how Arthur was going to give the Lancers their power-ups. How he was going to remove the restriction, the limiter that Kestis has placed on them when they got given the artifacts and they had their whole little power-up thing. And it didn't disappoint, like it really had its ups and downs. I was kind of like, I was tense during it, it was just like, oh, wait, maybe it's going to blow up. Oh, no, Gideon's coming in. It's like, oh, maybe it's not going to work. But then, oh, Regis comes in. And so it was really dope. It was really dope how they did it. And, I kind of figured that it was going to get done in just one chapter. It really didn't make any sense to try to elongate this to like a couple of different chapters. Like they needed to get their power-ups and then work on, building up. And then Arthur needs to leave and go to the Relic Tomb so that way he can get, more power-ups along with Regis. So, so the fact that they was able to get their power-ups now and get the not all of them, but, they get the restrictions done, the spells removed now, and we're able to just kind of move forward to see, I guess he's going to go and get the spell removed from Byron and then, finish up with Micah. But, so the way it starts out is pretty simple, right? So he's taking a look inside all of their mana cores and trying to see how things look. We found out that Byron has this like dark, smoky tinge to his mana core, but other than that, things look fine. And so he gives them all the horns, so now they have an actual use for the horns now, and gives them the horns and have them absorb the mana from the horns. It's a whole lot of potent mana. But they do that. He's looking, watching it, using Realm Heart to watch it, because none of this stuff would even be possible without Realm Heart. So he's watching it with the Realm Heart and obviously isn't finding anything. And so now he basically needs to teach them how to absorb mana and also output mana. So input and output. He needs to teach them how to input mana and how to expel mana at the same time, which they look at that as just impossible. And it was kind of funny to me. Arthur just like, yeah, I learned how to do it at 4. And then Varese just like, yeah, would it kick me while I'm down, And so it's just kind of another lesson of just like Arthur just being, extremely smart. But then again, maybe if Arthur tried to teach some of the younger kids, but then again, most of the people they don't develop their core until they're like around the teen years. Like even 12 was super early for like the elves. So maybe he wouldn't be, but he should be able to. Like going forward, he should be able to teach them how to do the exact same thing. But anyway, I'm kind of going off track. But anyway, so that was the main thing, just teaching them how to do that, how to input and output, so that way he can better see what's going on. And he's eventually able to help her do it by using his ether to, help with the spell that she ended up making, being able to fly, because Byron had suggested that just try flying, that's easy and simple. And so after time doing that, was able to do that, but then he needs to have her do more output of mana. So then start focusing on her frozen arm that she had created and making that even more potent. And then that's when they finally able to see. So I'm just like, okay, cool. So what's going to happen now? So now he gets the rod. He gets the rod, puts it up against her, and then he has Emily grab the rod, put her mana into it, and then activate the rod. And then now all the spells are coming out. And so he sees that, the way that the artifact works is that there's like a bunch of different spells that's layered within the artifact in a shit ton of mana. And he's got to be able to stop all those spells from coming out at the same time and doing the shit that it was regularly going to do. And he has to stop it and try to find the spell that he identified, which is like a Vivum spell that is going to heal the damage to their cores, or the injuries or scars to their cores. And so first it's a ton of mana. So man, it's crazy how Kestis actually, just kind of pre-planned all this to like not only to limit the potential of the humans, but also if any of the humans got smart enough to be able to like mess with the artifacts or do anything, he put in safety measures to stop it from happening and have it explode or whatever. And so man, it just goes to show like he's threatened, man. He's really threatened by these humans. He doesn't want them to evolve and become more dangerous. So anyway, so while this is all happening, I'm thinking to myself like, oh, Arthur's telling him to leave. He can't do it. It's too much mana. It's about to explode. And I'm just like, oh shit, it's not going to work. But then Gideon comes in and he's like, everybody stop. And he gets the copper wire and hook it up to the rod. And then that goes back to the mana crystals. And the mana crystals are going to absorb the excess amount of mana to give it, to make it easier for Arthur to be able to work with. Now then, Arthur was actually able to isolate the Vivien spell from the rest of the spells. And he takes that and he sends it into Virae, and he's hoping that that's going to heal the scars and reverse the spell, and it doesn't work. And then so it's just like, oh, the spell is broken. The spell is broken because not only is there's this buildup of mana inside of the artifact, the rod, but also because the mana is being drawn into the to the mana crystals, that's also restricting. It's also interfering with the spells and causing them to be like, incomplete and broken. And so now we're just like, oh my god, so now the spell is broken and it's not going to work. He's not going to be able to do this. But then Aurora's Requiem, right? So he takes that, he used that. He's like, oh yeah, go inside Virae and heal and try to heal the spell. Cool, good idea. Try to heal the spell, can't heal the spell. And then he tries to use the Aurora's Requiem to reverse the injuries, from the artifact that's inside the injuries from her core, and he can't do that either. And so I'm just like, just heal the rod. The rod's breaking, so just heal it. So then he actually does that. He heals the rod. By healing the rod, it makes it back to normal to where the spells are impact. So then Regis is automatically just knowing what he's already thinking of the idea. Regis is thinking about what he wants him to do. So then Regis jumps out of Virae's body. Arthur heals the rod. The spells go back to normal again, and before the rod can break, he deactivates Aurora's Requiem. Regis ends up grabbing the spell from the rod, swallowing it, and then the spell is looking for a core. He jumps inside of Virae and goes inside of Virae, right? And so here's what I'm thinking. I'm just like, okay, it's good. No, it's not done yet. Arthur still needs to go in there and tell the spell where to go. And so he has to manipulate his ether to tell the spell where to go and direct it to the 6 points inside, or the 6 scars, you can say, inside the core. And then he's able to do that, and then boom. It works. She's healed, and we're good, right? We're finally good. Now, a few points I wanna make, right? So I'm thinking to myself like, okay, cool. So now since we went through this trial and error and we know what to do now, all he needs to do now is just go to Byron and go to Micah and just actually, he just needs to use the spell and send it inside of them and then heal the scars. But no. Once I reread the chapter, it made more sense to me now. So he can't do that. He has to teach them, mana rotation, or just to be able to, output mana and then absorb mana at the same time. He has to be able to teach them that in order for him to be able to identify where the scars are in their core. Because if he uses Regis to grab the actual the spell from the artifact, if he uses Regis to do that and goes inside of their body, he still needs to be able to direct it to tell it where to go. And if he doesn't identify, he doesn't know where the scars are, then he can't tell the spell where to go to. And so so he needs to teach the other 2 lances the mana rotation, to absorb and then be able to output mana at the same time. Now Arthur doing this, man, it's just, once again, he's just a great teacher. Because he get frustrated and disappointed, but he's not letting that be shown. He is still trying to encourage them, tell them that, oh yeah, you can do this, and giving them soothing words when they're dealing with the visions and stuff like that, when they're absorbing the mana from the horns. And so, man, Arthur is just like a really good teacher. Once again, he just being great. So another thing I think is going to happen going forward, right? So here's kind of my predictions. Now, I believe that Byron is going to be stronger than the other two lances, because we've known that Viray was the strongest lance. I think that Byron is going to be the strongest lance now, just because, just everything that he's going through, and just like his wisdom, and just like just knowing, use the flying spell, to be able to fly. He wants you to do that, and then him also being able to adapt to the horns. And having it, him being able to absorb it and everything, he's able to do that easier than the other two lances. Also, he's the only lance that's able to focus on absorbing the mana from the horn and still pay attention to what's going on around him, because the other two lances weren't able to do that. And so he's going to progress. I think he's going to progress a lot faster after he get the shackles removed from him, from the spell. And I think that he's going to be stronger than all the other lances, or from Micah and from Viray. That's what I think is going to happen. And I'm just really curious what their abilities are going to be, like how. So the horns aren't empty with mana as far as we know. So once they get the shackles, the spell removed, the limitations removed, then they're just able to absorb the mana from the horns. It's going to, further purify their cores, and eventually, hopefully, can bring it to the next level. And because remember, Arthur was able to do it, and he didn't even get most of the mana from their horns. He only got a partial amount of the mana, and most of it went to Regis. So we're gonna see, will they actually develop and go to the next level just using the mana inside the cores, or will they have to further work on themselves to be able to get there? I think that they're probably going to get really close to going and breaking through to the next stage just using the mana from the horns, and then they're probably just going to do a little bit more meditation, and then they'll be able to break through. And then I'm really curious to see what kind of abilities they're going to have afterwards. Now, my last point in this chapter is the topic that Arthur keeps bringing up when he says that, the humans, the people, they don't need another deity to look up to. They don't need another god. They need the lances. But from my perception of all this and everything that's happened, isn't that the same thing? The lances are these beings that are stronger than your regular humans and your regular elves and dwarves and stuff like that. They're more capable, more powerful. Then as they get even more powerful with him helping them try to help them get to the next stage of their mana core, they're going to be even more separated from the rest of the rest of everybody else. So wouldn't they still be looked at as guys, as beings that are there to protect them and keep them safe and things like that? So it's really no difference whether it's him being the person that they're looking up to, or whether it's the lances being the person that they're going to look up to. I think Arthur, he just doesn't want to have, I don't know, I guess he just doesn't want to have the responsibility of being that figure to everybody else, to where, but he has dealt with it now. He's been, I don't know, his whole thoughts about being, I guess he just doesn't want to be in the spotlight. He doesn't want to do, but then again, the things that he does make himself be in the spotlight. I just don't understand Arthur when it comes to not accepting the fact that you're better than everybody else. Of course people are going to look up to you when they see someone doing some shit that is just incredible. They've never seen anybody do this before. They're gonna look at you as a godly figure. Of course, it's right now in humanity now. If we start seeing people float and fly away and control things with their minds, we're gonna start looking at them as some sort of unnatural, godly type figure, because we've never seen anybody do some shit like that before. So I just don't understand. I guess he just doesn't want to be in the spotlight. I don't know. I guess you guys can let me know what you think too. I just think that the lances are going to be that same figure, and it's not going to make a difference whether it's him or the lances, because it's not like the lances are so relatable and they can envision, the people that can envision themselves as I can be the next lance, the next protector of Dikathan. No, they're so far separated from the rest of the people. That's not a goal they're going to be able to really be able to reach, not really, And it's not like the Lancers are so relatable and they're so like they're going out and they're signing autographs and hanging out with the people to where the people are like it's no different. You just got 3 godly beings instead of just 1 godly being. That's all it is. So I just wanted to say that because it didn't make any sense to me at all. But you can let me know what you think. But this chapter was dope. This chapter was awesome, and I'm just even more excited to see what their abilities are going to be and how they're going to progress to the next stage. And I'm also excited to see when Arthur goes to the Relic Tombs, what awaits him there, what challenges he's going to face there. Especially with his new abilities and everything. Now, with not Heroes Requiem, but with Realm Heart, what new challenges he's going to face? How difficult is that shit going to be? Like how much more powerful are the beings going to be in the Relic Tombs now that Arthur is who he is? That Regis got more powerful, so it's probably calculating both of them. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, that's it for me, you guys. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. And also let me know, should I just keep it horizontal or should I keep it vertical? Which one? But anyway, that's it for me. Peace.